Right, guys, we're back looking at chapter 27, section 3. This is still a chapter on imperialism. On section 3, we look at European claims to the Muslim lands. What Muslim lands? What are the Muslim lands? Well, we're looking at the area of Northern Africa, what we call the Middle East today, Saudi Arabia, for example, looking at Persia. But in particular, we're going to be looking at one major empire, and this is the Ottoman Empire. All right, so the Europeans are still after more land, more resources from other parts of the world. They already carved out Africa for themselves. Now they're looking at the Middle East. The Middle East also has good resources the Europeans can use as well. All right, so we're looking at European claims to the Muslim lands. In particular, your chapter is going to look at something called the Ottoman Empire. And like I said, this was an empire that's been there for many, many centuries. This empire still has resources that the Europeans can use themselves. So they go into these areas to grab the land as well, grabbing territory. All right, so one word term to know is the word geopolitics. And by definition, it says that it's an interest in or taking of land for a strategic location or products. And that's exactly what the Europeans are doing, whether you look at Africa, whether you look at the Middle East. All right, so the important part of the Ottoman Empire is called the Crimea. And at this time, the Russians also wanted part of the Crimea. So a war breaks out between the Russians and the Ottoman Empire for Crimea. In this war, the Ottoman Empire wins the war with the help of the British and the French. They're able to defeat the Russians, but the French and the British are doing it for a reason. They're doing it because they hope to be able to get a part of the Crimea themselves from the Ottoman Empire. So read more about the Crimean War there. Well, looking at the Ottoman Empire, we said it's a huge empire. It goes all the way from Hungary in the north. It covers Turkey, parts of Saudi Arabia, most of North Africa is part of the Ottoman Empire. And again, wealthy empire, and powerful empire. But by 1914, the areas in the darker pink, those areas, that will be the extent of the Ottoman Empire. So all the lighter pink areas, the Ottoman Empire is going to lose to the Europeans. In the case of Egypt, for example, they're going to fight for their independence as they see the Ottoman Empire losing power. But Egypt is one of those countries that also tries to reform itself. They know that the only way to fend off or keep the Europeans from coming is to be strong economically and militarily speaking. They try to make some changes, but it's not going to save them. Eventually, the Europeans are going to go all the way to Egypt also. Well, so one good advantage about Egypt is that the French begin to see that there is a financial interest in building a canal that can connect the Mediterranean and the Red Sea. So that canal eventually will be financed by the French, and in time, the canal will be taken over by the British. So this canal is very important because you can make a big shortcut between Europe and Asia by going through the canal. And the way you make money is that you charge boats passing one way or the other by the canal. So very important project for the Europeans. All right, other countries that try to make some changes would be Persia, but same thing. In the end, they'll be taken over little by little by the Europeans. So either way, this is the section 3 on still looking at imperialism.